The Vancouver Canucks make the perfect trade by acquiring Erik Brännström from the Colorado Avalanche. We're going to break down this trade, his fit on the team, and more later on this episode. Before we start, I want to give a huge shout out to the almost 5,000 of you. We started this channel less than a year ago, so seeing the community grow is quite awesome. So if you guys want to join the Canucks Digest community, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep you up to date on everything to do with the Canucks. Well, let's hop straight into the first topic, which is the Canucks make the perfect trade. Now, there's been so much speculation about Tucker Poolman, about his fit with this team, as he's not going to play anymore, and we do see the Vancouver Canucks have acquired Erik Brännström, who is a defenseman, from the Colorado Avalanche for Tucker Poolman at 20% retained and a 4th-round pick in 2025. Now, looking at this, yes, we do get a defenseman that can make an impact for the Canucks, but before we dive into that, the Canucks do move on from one of their 4th-round picks in 2025. You can see the Canucks draft picks over the next couple of seasons. Allvin had to move out some draft picks to kind of get this team where he wanted to be, to move on from some of Jim Benning's signings, and it seems like he's finally fully getting there, and we're going to see the Canucks moving more of these picks when we get farther into the season. But with the Canucks now, they do have to eat 20% of the Poolman contract. You can see the 3 buyout and retains, which is the max. It is only 1 year on Poolman. It is $500,000. You can see Mikheyev has $712,000, and of course the OEL one, which is not great. But in theory, it's going to be good after a couple of seasons. So the Canucks do move on from the Poolman contract, which is quite big. We've seen the management speak on how they don't want to go into the season with players on LTIR, with the LTIR pool, any of this, so the Canucks do clear up that space and only have to keep $500,000 of the Poolman contract. And you can see the Canucks are projected to have almost $1.2 million in cap space, which could be huge when it gets to deadline. I mean, you're looking at this Canucks team, that 1.2 mil, once it gets to trade deadline and a player's contract is lower than it is at the start of the season, the Canucks can go out and get quite a good piece for this just cap space they have already. Now, when we do look at Brannstrom, he is a sneaky pickup for this Canucks team. I mean, we're looking at Brannstrom, a guy that's a left-handed shot defenseman, 25 years old, so he still has room to grow. He was drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights, 15th overall in 2017, and he has a bit of NHL experience. You can see he played 2 games for the Sens back in 2018-19. Once again, he continued on with the Sens, putting up 4 points in 31 games, and he just came off with the most productive season he's had in the NHL with the Sens. 76 games, 3 goals, 17 assists for 20 points, and he was a +5. This is a defenseman that's not going to be quite big. He's 5'10", he's a puck-moving defenseman, which is exactly what the Canucks need. I mean, they're looking at a guy like Poolman. Yes, you move on from a guy like him who was not going to get into this lineup, and it's sad to say, but he might never make it back to the NHL. But bringing in a puck-moving defenseman, which is exactly what the Canucks needed, like I said, a guy that can fill out in this bottom 3, in the third line pairing, I should say. He can fill out on the defense as well. You can see that he's played 76 games. He can move the puck. He can skate. He's a guy that can put up assists and score you maybe 2 to 3 goals, as that seems like his career high. But bringing in this low-risk guy for such a cheap cap hit, I mean, you're looking at this, a guy that comes in under $1 million, he makes $900,000, and it really fills out this defense. Hronek, a guy like Quinn Hughes on the top pairing. You have a guy like Carson Soucy, Tyler Myers, and then you have the big boys in Desharnais and Forbert. And you still have a guy like Noah Juulsen, a guy like Brannstrom, that can continue making this team even better. You have the big defenseman, you have the rough defenseman to play against. You need someone to move the puck, and bringing in a guy like Brannstrom as a low-risk pickup and also clearing up cap space. I think this is a masterclass of a trade. I think this is a trade that's going to be underappreciated by a lot of the NHL. But looking at this guy, looking at what the Canucks needed, bringing him in for just almost a 4th-round pick, and you do clear cap space. Allvin is cooking. This is one of the best off seasons I think I can remember for the Canucks in quite some time. They filled the roles of what they needed. They picked up wingers. They picked up defensemen. They continue by picking up Brannstrom. This Canucks team is going to be good, and it really does get into where does Brannstrom fit, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit a second ago. But when you're looking at Brannstrom, you're looking at this defense, there is a lot of room for him to make it into this lineup. I mean, we're looking at what this is. I mean, you're looking at the defensive pairings. This is from Daily Faceoff. This is not what I'm projecting. Well, it is pretty much close to what I'm projecting, but this is from Daily Faceoff. They have Quinn Hughes with Hronek, Carson Soucy with Tyler Myers, and Forbort with Desharnais. Now, when you're looking at this, as I said, the third pairing is a little scary at times because they're big defensemen. They're not the best skaters, but they are hard to play against. This is where you have a guy like Brannstrom that I think is going to get quite a few games on this third pairing. He can come in, fill out the Forbort role. You can run him and Desharnais as a pairing where they can move the puck, be physical, skate, hit, everything in between. I think they're going to complement each other quite a bit. The biggest thing with this is if you see a guy like Desharnais go down, Noah Juulsen's a right-handed shot that can fill out that role. So the Canucks save cap space. They have someone that can fill out the left side or the right side on this third pairing. They have perfect partners to play with them, and I do think Brannstrom could slide up into the second pairing if another injury does happen. If an injury happens, he could probably play as far up as the second. I wouldn't go as far to say he will play top minutes, as Quinn Hughes is going to be there for the entirety of the year. But looking at this, what's your guys' just overall thoughts on this trade? I mean, we're getting a guy like Brannstrom that's going to come in, as I said, be the puck mover that we felt like we've said for the past couple of months that we needed on this team, and it felt like it wasn't going to happen until this trade did happen, and it doesn't even really stop there. With this cap space, with so many defensemen, maybe we see a guy like Noah Juulsen if he gets put on waivers. Maybe this is a guy that they might trade out as well. I think they should keep him, but overall, there could be another trade in the moves. I mean, you're looking at the non-roster defensemen. Just defensemen that are with Abbotsford. Erik Brännström is obviously going to be up with the Canucks. He is on the top of this list, but this is as they just acquired him. Petey's a defenseman that did look good. You have a guy like Minio who's down in the OHL or WHL, one of them. I'm sorry for mixing it up. You have so many defensemen, even a guy like Mark Freeman that has made this team, that has played with this team. The Canucks have a deep prospect pool. They have a deep defensive core. They have a deep forward core. They have great goaltending with an extra one in Lankin and just being picked up. I think this is the best offseason in the past 10 years for the Canucks. Yes, they haven't got a huge name. It's not like they're going out and getting a guy like just any top defenseman to add to this, but they bring in a guy like Hronek that fills in the role as one of the top defensemen. You have a guy like Quinn Hughes. You have Soucy, who is an incredible pickup as well. All these guys are perfect complementary pieces to each other, and just overall, I'm excited for this season. What's your guys' thoughts on this trade? What do you expect out of a guy like Brannstrom? Is he the defenseman we needed? Do you think the core is perfect on defenses now? Or do you think they're going to go out and make another trade? Let me know down in the comments. So speaking of comments, we'll get in everyone's favorite topic, which is comment of the day. Comment today comes from Callum. He says, me and Miss Callum went to Friday's game. Go Canucks, go. This is awesome. I wish I could make it out to a game. I'm actually looking at booking a trip to BC to see a game. If people don't know, I am from Newfoundland. I'm completely on the different coast, but I'm going to try to make it out for a game, and I'd love to meet a lot of you guys. So if you guys want me to come out and see a game and you want to meet, that would be awesome as well. Leave a comment down below, and you might be featured on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friend. I'm trying to get through this because I do have a head cold, but I've been your host, Mark Pine. Take care.